On the stage, beneath the bright lights, she appeared with angel wings, walking like a goddess of a fashion empire. But behind that dazzling glow lies another story. Born in Salvador, Brazil, with countless dreams and just one chance, Adriana Lima transformed from an ordinary girl into an angel in the most powerful fashion house on earth. 18 walks for Victoria's Secret, an unbeaten record. In 2017, she was called the most valuable angel. But then, the lights dimmed. She left the show in 2018, choosing family over the spotlight. And by 2024, she returned, as if to say, she's not just the face of the past, she's a timeless symbol. This isn't just the story of a supermodel. It's the journey of Adriana Lima from glory to silence and then to rebirth. And what keeps people waiting is what she's never revealed. Adriana Lima was born in Salvador, Bahia, a sunlit seaside city in Brazil. But contrary to what people imagine about a girl destined for fame, her childhood was far from glamorous. She grew up in a poor neighborhood, where the sound of the ocean mixed with the noise of the marketplace, a place where dreams rarely crossed the city's borders. As a child, Adriana never thought she was beautiful. She was teased for her large eyes and tanned skin. In an interview, she once said, "I never thought I was special. I was just a regular girl, wearing cheap sandals with small dreams." Yet, it was that very ordinariness that made her extraordinary. At 13, Adriana entered a local beauty contest, not for herself, but to support a friend who was the real contestant. But fate intervened. She was the one who caught the scout's eye. And from that moment, her destiny changed. In 1996, at just 15, she won second place in the Ford Model's Supermodel of the World contest. That prize took her from Salvador to Sao Paulo, Brazil's fashion capital, and opened the door to the world. She left her hometown for New York, a city where every light burns bright, but where many lose themselves. She spoke no English, had no friends, and had nothing but faith that if she persevered, she could make a difference. It wasn't just a girl chasing a dream, it was a soul refusing to surrender. Because somewhere deep inside, Adriana knew those very eyes that once drew mockery would one day become the reason the whole world stopped to stare. When Adriana Lima entered New York's fashion scene in the late 90s, she was just a 16-year-old Brazilian girl, speaking broken English, sharing a cramped apartment with other models, and aching for home. But she carried one thing that no one could overlook: her eyes. Those gray-blue eyes, deep, hypnotic, innocent yet mysterious, seemed to hold both light and darkness at once. They haunted photographers, captivated brands, and mesmerized audiences. In 1999, her breakthrough came. Adriana walked her first show for Victoria's Secret. Within minutes, she silenced the crowd. When she walked, people didn't just see a model, they saw a symbol. Adriana's beauty was never loud. It was a balance, the purity of a girl mixed with the raw magnetism of a woman. She didn't need to try. Her gaze, her stride, the tilt of her head all radiated a natural power. By 2000, Adriana officially became a Victoria's Secret angel. And for nearly 2 decades, she redefined what sexy meant. It wasn't about seduction. It was about strength, confidence, and ownership. She once said, "Sexiness isn't about showing your body, it's about knowing your worth." From 2000 to 2018, Adriana became the soul of Victoria's Secret, walking in over 18 shows, the longest-serving angel in history, and the only one to wear wings weighing over 30 kilograms. Yet offstage, she remained grounded and quiet. While others partied and chased scandals, Adriana read books, prayed, and stayed true to herself. In a world obsessed with lights and attention, she mastered silence. Maybe that's what set her apart. She didn't try to be hot, she simply was. And the world decided that was what sexy truly meant. When Adriana stepped onto the runway, the atmosphere changed. She wasn't just a model, she was energy, a living image of an era when supermodel meant cultural power. From a poor girl in Bahia to the face of global fashion, Adriana Lima became the emblem of a generation, perhaps the last who carried the true spirit of an angel. Glory on the runway never comes free. Behind the radiant lights of Victoria's Secret lay shadows no audience could see. She once said, "People see the angel wings, not the weight they carry." As fame reached its peak, the pressure tightened. Every show meant weeks of training, extreme diets, and brutal discipline. Adriana once revealed that before the Victoria's Secret fashion show, she would stop eating solid food for 9 days, surviving only on protein shakes and water. "That was the hardest part," she said, "but I was trained to fight, never to break." It wasn't just discipline, it was obsession. The fashion world demanded perfection. Maintain weight, maintain the image, maintain the illusion. Yet amid that harshness, Adriana held on to something rare, her faith. Born into a Catholic family in Brazil, she always carried a rosary with her, even on stage. When asked why she refused to pose provocatively like others, she simply smiled and said, "Faith is my armor." She was also known as the only Victoria's Secret model who publicly stated that she remained a virgin before marriage. That statement exploded in the media. People mocked her, doubted her, even sneered that an underwear angel couldn't be both sacred and sensual. But Adriana stayed silent, kept working, and walked as though nothing could touch her. That paradox, holiness and seduction, was exactly what made her unforgettable. By the mid-2000s, at the height of fame, Adriana began to feel a quiet loneliness. She once confessed that after shows, when the lights went out, she would sit alone in her hotel room, remove her makeup, look in the mirror, and ask, "Who am I without these wings?" She fell in love, married, became a mother, and then divorced basketball player Marko Jaric. For the first time, the world saw Adriana Lima cry, not on stage, but in a brief interview. She said softly, "I thought I had to be perfect, but being human is also beautiful." After that, everything shifted. She stepped away from the Victoria's Secret spotlight, but she didn't disappear. Instead, she became something greater. No longer just the angel on the runway, she became a woman of resilience, rebirth, and authentic beauty. In a 2018 interview, just before leaving the Victoria's Secret after nearly 2 decades, she said tearfully, "I'm not saying goodbye to the runway. I'm saying goodbye to the illusion." And when she walked for the last time, hand over heart, eyes wet, the entire stadium rose to its feet. They no longer saw a model. They saw a woman. One who embodied beauty, faith, and strength beyond definition. The Victoria's Secret stage glowed golden. Thousands filled the arena. And when the music began, Adriana Lima stepped out, white wings trembling in the light. She was no longer the 18-year-old Brazilian girl nervously auditioning years ago. No longer the model forced to diet, to endure, to chase perfection. That night, Adriana was the symbol of an era and its farewell. When she placed her hand over her heart and tears fell, millions watched in silence. Victoria's Secret called her the last angel, because after her, no one could make those wings mean so much again. 2 decades, more than 20 shows. She was the face of Victoria's Secret's golden age, when the brand still represented every girl's dream. But while the world admired those blue eyes, few realized that Adriana Lima wasn't just a model, she was proof of a woman's power to evolve with time.
As beauty standards shifted and fashion faced calls for diversity and authenticity, Adriana didn't resist, she transformed. She began speaking about mental health, body acceptance, and the right to age beautifully. In a recent campaign, Adriana posed after giving birth to her third child, her body not yet model ready. Yet she looked straight into the camera and said proudly, "This is also beauty. This is life." That moment marked a new chapter for the final angel of her generation. But Adriana's legacy extends far beyond fashion. She became the embodiment of a new kind of woman, not perfect, not pretending, but endlessly strong. From the girl with a rosary on the catwalk to the mother of three representing Balmain and Puma, Adriana proved that a modeling career doesn't end at 30, it simply transforms. In a 2023 interview, she was asked, "If you could go back, what would you tell 17-year-old Adriana?" She smiled. "I'd say, don't be afraid. Everything you need, you already carry inside your heart." And perhaps that is Adriana Lima's true legacy. Not the million-dollar contracts, not the boat covers, not even the angel wings, but her unbreakable spirit. A reminder that in a world obsessed with perfection, the courage to be real is the greatest victory of all. Today, when people look back at those old photos, the blue eyes, the radiant smile, the white wings, they no longer just see a supermodel. They see a woman who made the world believe that beauty doesn't need to be displayed. It needs to be true. Because, after all, Adriana Lima isn't just the last angel of Victoria's Secret. She is the woman who proved that beauty and strength can coexist. Adriana Lima, the woman who taught us that perfection fades, but authenticity lasts forever.
In 2025, the fashion world once again stopped and stared. Nearly a decade after her final walk as a Victoria's Secret angel, Adriana Lima made her long-awaited return, and the moment instantly set the internet on fire. But this was not the Adriana of the 2000s, not the flawless symbol of perfection with the sapphire eyes and the powerful stride. This time, she walked with something far deeper, the grace of a woman who has lived, loved, fallen, and risen again. When the spotlight hit her, the crowd didn't just see a supermodel. They witnessed a legend stepping back into her own story. Her comeback wasn't about chasing youth or reclaiming fame. It was about proving that icons don't fade, they evolve. Adriana returned not to compete with the new generation, but to remind the world of what true confidence looks like, a quiet, mature strength that doesn't need validation. Behind the scenes, she said softly, "I'm not coming back to prove anything. I just want to enjoy the moment, like the very first time I ever walked that stage." And maybe that's what makes her the last angel. Because long after the wings are folded and the lights go out, Adriana Lima reminds us that beauty isn't about staying young, it's about staying timeless.